Okay, there we go. I'm live. This seemed to be the fastest way to do this, especially since my phone will not hold more than like 10 minutes of video. So I'm doing this live. Lisa of Flippin Crazy, this is for you. Because I was going to try to do it earlier today, but after doing all the dishes and everything else, I took a nap. My hands are bothering me. My back was bothering me. I took a nap. So now it's 9:47 p.m. It's still Christmas Day. So Lisa, this still counts. So Lisa from Flippin Crazy challenged me to a Vlogmas Challenge 2022 of 15 holiday questions. Now I made sure I wrote out the questions here so that I can make sure I get them right. So here's what we're gonna try to do. And I don't expect anybody to show up for this because I know there's a couple other channels live, but this was just the most expedient way for me to be able to do this. So let's get on with the 15 questions for Vlogmas. That was the Vlogmas Challenge 2022. Now, it's kind of late for me to challenge other channels. If I had done this in a timely manner and I just was too busy, I would have challenged Philly Flipper. I would have probably challenged Katie of Vintage and Vinyl, Patrick from Trusty Huckster Mercantile. And then I would have had to choose to the two near me. Was I gonna challenge Scott from Old Curiosity Shop or Vinny from Vintage Vinny? Because Vinny's kind of the neighbor to the south, just down in Maryland, and Scott's kind of the neighbor to the north up in Philly. And I'd have to decide which one, if they'd even do it. So it's 15 holiday questions. So the first one is, favorite holiday scent or candle? Well, that's a toughie. That's a toughie because I like I have scented wax burner, and there's one that's sugar cookies, which is really good. But there's another one that's it's pine and cinnamon, and it's really good. I really like that one. So I guess like that one. Because my mother, when growing up, my mother would put a thing of water, a little pan with water on the radiator in the hallway, and occasionally would throw a cinnamon stick in it. So you'd have that kind of smell permeating the house. Then you had the pine from the Christmas tree. So I really like the pine and cinnamon. Favorite holiday beverage? So there's a company that makes, it's called Pennsylvania Dutch Eggnog. Now, I don't know if they make it all year long, but you buy it at the state store. It has whiskey in it. I really like it. Now, I cut it with regular eggnog, so about half and half, because it's some potent stuff. And they make other stuff too, but I really like that one for Christmas. Not for all year long, but for the Christmas holiday. I do really like that particular spiked beverage. That is my Christmas treat. My brother usually buys a bottle of it, or I will. This year he did. Hello, Tia Fane. And Nora's here. Hello. So that's usually my Christmas beverage. So the third question was, well, I can't read my own handwriting. I had to turn the light around because it was completely whiting me out. What song really gets you in the holiday spirit? Okay, the list is long. But it's not Christmas if I don't hear Nat King Cole. Pick a Christmas song. I need to hear a Nat King Cole song. To get me in the Christmas spirit, I need that. I need novelty Christmas songs. I love the I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. I absolutely love that one. I heard two new ones this year. I Farted on Santa's Lap. And there's one, I have to find it and put the link. I'll put the link in here too, because I have to put the link in the description from my live this morning. And it's a 1950s song that who put the dump in it. That's the song. but it's all rewritten to be about the Christmas tree and that poor little angel who's stuck on top, and it's very funny. So with it's not Christmas if I don't hear some novelty songs or Nat King Cole. Eartha Kitt, Eartha Kitt's Santa Baby is to me by far like the iconic one, and I need to hear that at Christmas. So that those things really, those are the songs that really kind of get me in the holiday spirit. Question 4. What is it? Oh, as a kid, did a sibling get something you wanted? Ooh. There were 6 of us. Honestly, not that I can remember. I honestly don't remember anything where there was that kind of envy. I mean, I know one of us got a little pellet gun. It was all enclosed, little shooting gallery thing. And I don't remember if that was Roy's present or my present. I just know that we shared that one equally, and we both played the tar out of that thing till it finally, years later, stopped working. So I never really had that where there was that thing of somebody else got something that I really wanted. I know as an adult, there were things that my mother gave for Christmas. She grabbed the wrong bag one year, and the stuff that was from our great aunt who had crocheted all these beautiful red and green table runners and things. She took the bag that was marked with my name and took it to my sister's house and let my sister pick through it. And when I saw my name on the bag, I went, Mom, you brought the wrong bag. I got told, well, she can go through it anyway. No, that's not okay. So I had something kind of like that as an adult, but not as a kid. Favorite thing about Christmas? I don't get that anymore. I loved getting a Christmas stocking because Mom would have all kinds of little things that she'd gotten throughout the year, or little things she knew I collected. If she could find something little, she'd throw it in there, and she would wrap a lot of them. So I do miss getting the Christmas stocking. That was one of my favorite things about Christmas, and as an adult, I don't get that anymore. But other than that, the other favorite thing of Christmas was I do really like having the lights outside, which we didn't do this year, or a tree, which we didn't do because of the kittens. So my absolute favorite things I didn't quite get this year, but I do miss the stocking. Christmas traditions, we don't really have any anymore. When my family was all together, and before Mom passed away, she would pick who got the gift. And the gift was usually something small, but hard to get into. It may be in 20 boxes down. It may be wrapped inside a balloon. It may just somehow the way it was wrapped, it was hard to get into. Usually it was some silly novelty thing inside. As I got to be a teenager, it became my turn to figure out how to wrap this stuff. But Mom always picked who, and I never knew who until the last minute. So the bad part is that it was never me. It was never given to me because I was doing the wrapping. You weren't allowed to get it until you were 10, because under 10 years old, they get too frustrated, they get upset. So it kind of was a rite of passage. I got a lot of heat from my siblings that it was always me, my fault. I pick it all, I do it. No, I just wrap it. She picks who gets it. So that was a tradition that stopped with when Mom passed away, and I kind of missed that one because it was always kind of fun. And Michael and I, we don't really have any traditions. We both worked in retail for so long and then working at Wawa the 6 years I worked at Wawa. He's worked at Wawa since he was like 19 or 18. So he's worked there for I think 10 years now. He's usually working Christmas Day. So I don't really have any Christmas traditions right now. We need to make real or fake tree. I don't mind alternating. Some of my ornaments are heavy. The early resin stuff was really heavy, and I have some big fairies that are really cool. Some are Amy Brown designs, and they're heavy, so they cannot go on a real tree. Um, so if I'm going to use those ornaments, it's a fake tree. And when my mom was alive and we had trees, we would alternate. One year would be my tree with my ornaments. The next year would be her tree with all the vintage ornaments that we all grew up with. Naughty or nice? Aren't we all always a little bit of both? I know I am. So I don't know. Does Santa have an alternate list? Like those people that are like a little of one, a little of the other, but not quite enough to be tipped to either side. Hi, Tia Fane. Hi, Val. Name the reindeer. Okay, let's see. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Rudolph, Leroy. Oh, okay, Leroy. Yeah, Leroy. Leroy is the redneck reindeer. I better make a note of that. Okay. Put in description. Put link to Leroy, the reindeer, and the one about the angel and the tree. And you know what? For good measure, I'll put the I farted on Santa's lap, because that one was so funny. I found that one at the beginning of the month and just cracked up because it's sung like by a little kid in a kids choir, and it's just so funny. Because I really do like those novelty ones. So I don't know. I've known about Leroy the redneck reindeer for so long. I just kind of added it without thinking to the Christmas reindeer list. When to put up the tree and who decorates? I don't mind putting a tree up. If it's a live tree, I'd rather wait until maybe the second week of Christmas. Just pine needle thing. But if it's my fake tree, if I have the time, I don't mind doing it Thanksgiving weekend. But we had the kittens this year, so there was absolutely no way a tree was going up. And it's usually me, Michael, and I that decorate the tree. Peek at gifts or surprise. I'd rather be surprised. And if you saw the live this morning, I was really surprised at one of my presents. Ever gone Christmas caroling? Yes, multiple times. One time I even got paid for it. There were a couple of towns for a while there in the 90s, late 90s, that had these first night things, and they would pay people to walk around either on New Year's Eve or on Christmas Eve and walk around in Victorian costume and sing Christmas carols. And I got paid a couple of times to do that. But the best one was Christmas caroling through Arden, which is an arts and crafts community in Arden, Delaware. I was part of the Arden Singers for many years, and they would do Christmas caroling through the village of Arden. And you could call ahead and reserve that we'd come to your house. Well, somebody as a joke reserved this in the family, apparently reserved this one house, because apparently their father-in-law said, you know, how nice it was that they Christmas carol through the neighborhood and we hear them, but they never stop here. So his son-in-law said, okay, we'll stop there. So we, not knowing, we stop, we start singing outside this house. They are laughing hysterically as we sing, God rest ye merry gentlemen. We didn't understand why until they went, Happy Hanukkah. They were Jewish. But the son-in-law did it because, you know, the father was a musician. He had played in the orchestra decades before at the Arden Singers, but it was a Jewish household, and his son-in-law just did it as kind of a practical joke. But it just happened to be that the song we sang outside the door was God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, because you never could request the song, but you just could request we stop at the house. So that was my Christmas caroling. Where spend a holiday? It used to always be here. And then my sister got a house that had, as the family grew, more grandkids, that she could accommodate having all of us and all the cousins, all the children's cousins, out at her place. So she did that for a lot of years. Bless her heart, because that's a lot of people. And she did 90% of the cooking for it, which is just, that was a lot. But then, when our own kids started getting married and started having grandkids of her own, well, then it all kind of, that does, like you families do, it splits apart. So now Michael and I, she was with her grandchildren this year at her son and his wife's. And then my brother David's crowd, they were all together, but we were just kind of here as our own little unit, which is what happens with families. So I'm usually spend mine here, don't have anywhere to go. And for years I was working when I worked for Wawa. So, because you got double time working Christmas Day. So I always volunteered to work Christmas Day, because that way the people with kids could either work in the morning for a few hours and then spend the afternoon with their kids. So that wasn't fun. My favorite decoration, besides the snowman, my favorite decoration is surprisingly not a fairy, not a snowman. They are they're not shiny bright, but they are mercury glass. They're only about that long, and the shape is pointy at top. It bulges out in the middle and goes down to be pointy at the bottom. And they're all up in the third floor in the attic, so I don't have one to show you. They made them in a bunch of colors. I have blue and I have pink, and I've always been looking for more. I think I only have maybe a dozen of them. Somebody a year ago, was it Vinny, had big ones. Like mine are just these little, maybe 5 inches long, maybe 4, little tiny ones. He had these big ones. They were the exact same thing. They were just big. I didn't know they came that way. I absolutely love those. I think they are the coolest looking thing, and I don't have very many of them. So that's my favorite decoration. That and like, it's funny, but I like some of the kitschy plastic stuff. So I love the white plastic garlands. I have one that I had from one grandmother's Christmas stash of stuff, and it's white holly leaves with red berries, and then has little white lanterns about that big that hang down. We couldn't put it up because of the kittens. Over the summer, I found somebody had them at a live sale, and I can't remember who it was, and I managed to get them. And it's another white plastic one, but they are these really kind of atomic looking little geometric shapes with a star inside. And it's on a white chain, which is just like what the white holly leaves and the lantern one is on. It's on a white chain, and it's all plastic. I do really like that, and I'm always looking for more. So that's another one. It's like that white plastic kind of garland things I really like. I don't have enough to do a tree, so what happens is I put them down the banister of the staircase usually. And next year I hope I can do it again, because we really did diddly this year with these kittens. So that's the 15 questions. So there they go. They're all there. So Lisa from Flippin Crazy, I got it done. It's Christmas. It's 10:06. Christmas is not over. I did finally get my challenge done. I'm not going to worry about challenging anybody else, because it's a little too late for that. And I hope you guys who are watching had a wonderful Christmas day. Like I said, I told everybody this morning that if you're by yourself, or because of the weather you're not able to see family, just pamper yourself today. And man, I had not taken my medicine for my back, so by the time I got done all the dishes, cleaned out the refrigerator, the turkey showed up about 3 o'clock. I took the 2 legs out, spoiled the cats by chopping them up and feeding them all turkey, including the outdoor one, which I'm worried I've not seen Shadow in 2 days. I walked out there and checked the cooler that has, there's only one cooler out there that has any straw in it. And most of that straw is flat at the bottom. And the tortoise shell, I kept calling it a calico. It's not a calico. It's a tortoise shell kitten went flying out of there. That's the one that keeps hanging out with Shadow. So if the tortoise shell was in the shelter, where the devil is Shadow? So I don't know. I'm a little worried about that because it's been bitter here, especially at night. So hopefully I can get some straw soon. Now that the money for that's in my bank account, but Mike doesn't really want me to put a straw bale in the trunk of the rental car. I can't blame him, but I really need to get some straw. So the tortoise shell kitten from the video about the two kittens is back around. At least it's not going to freeze, but that was Shadow's hideout. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go, and I'm going to go find those links for those songs, and because they're all on YouTube, and plug them into the description. So have a good night. I would say have a good weekend, but this is a Sunday already. So for some people, it's right back to work tomorrow. I know it kind of will be for me because I got to get back to finishing up that packing, and because for me, my year kind of ends at Christmas, and I think it's from all the decades of working in retail. So for me, it's not New Year's, it's Christmas. And then so the day after Christmas, I have to call my sister, it's her birthday. And but after that, then that's my day one. This is the day after Christmas to go on for what I'm going to do for the following year. So that's tomorrow. Fresh start, clean, start with a clean slate, plan out stuff, and see what I can do. Because I need to write out what the goals are and make a timeline, and see how well I can get myself to stick to that stuff. Because this past year was too much of, I'd push myself too far and then backtrack, and I wasn't paying attention to the warning signs of my body, and I learned better. So we don't want any more relapses now. So certain things, when I know I get off of my shoelaces, kitten. So this I think this year should, knock on wood, be better in that I know what the warning signs are now. I know when certain parts of my back start getting pins and needles, then that means I need to call and make an appointment for the shots, because it won't take long before they're a problem. You got to pay attention to that stuff. Your body will warn you, but we're tone deaf to it all too often. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun with it. And as soon as I'm done, I'll get those links in the description and get a proper description made up. And hope you had a good Christmas. For those of you who are in the seriously snowbound areas, stay safe, stay warm. Don't forget to drink water, because it's very common to get dehydrated in the winter, and it's harder for your body to keep itself warm if it's not hydrated. Listen to the Boy Scout. I know. I had to take winter survival training. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you all Thursday night at 11 p.m. for a live. Good night.